before we even start episode
Before we
2.
start, yeah. Should we address?
We should address.
Okay, I have comments ready to correct if you want me to read
The correction. We start with corrections corner because
because
show
that was the goofiest fucking recap we've ever done. You were editing it.
Yes.
And you
I had to keep cutting stuff off because we were just saying completely wrong things.
Just wrong.
We're like,
we
yeah.
didn't watch the episode. To be fair, when we watched the episode, our recording device was like being really weird.
That's
we
true.
were like,
We had
so
to watch it
I had to keep
times.
watching to make sure it was still recording.
Yes.
So
We weren't paying attention to like plot that they're just throwing in there.
listen. We just came off our last BL we watched.
Well, stay with me.
No, was
Love is like a cat.
Love is like a cat, which was not.
Not period.
So I was like, I was in a different mindset.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to read the nice comment that's on YouTube, and then I'm going to go to our Patreon for the one that's still nice, but is like, girls. Okay. This is from Jarrett McCreary. I don't know if you guys want or need any specifics, but just in case. In episode 1, they explained that 4 years ago, a police officer, Xiaofei Sr., and Tang Guangdong, the original leader of the gang, died and Tang Yi was shot. Xiaofei believes Tang Yi knows more about the incident, and it feels personal because due to the evidence of the case, it looks like his senior was involved with gang members.
I will say this does get explained in episode 2.
Yes.
Episode 2 is like, oh, okay, now I see it all.
This is also why Tang Yi's sister says Xiaofei has been giving him a lot of grief over the years. He's essentially been harassing him, even though people on Tang Yi's side died as well. And of course, Yi almost died too. Then on Patreon...
Which we'll say, I think it's nice. We're not picking on this person on Patreon.
Not at all.
But it is. Sometimes we do deserve to be called out.
This person says, y'all are actually hilarious because that is not what happened in this episode.
I know.
Tang Yi's ultimate goal is to whitewash his crime syndicate. But in doing that... Do you know what money laundering is, by the way? Sorry. Do you know what money...
I guess Friedrich does. You have a legitimate business, quote unquote, as like the cover for you to push money around.
So you basically...
Mattresses, allegedly.
Mattress firm.
Mattress firm, allegedly.
Basically have a shady business that is illegal. You have a real business that you are not necessarily marketing as like you're not trying to get people to come to the store.
Yeah.
But you have it so that you can take your dirty money and then be like, oh, all these customers paid for all this in cash.
Yes.
Which launders the money.
Yes, yeah.
That's money laundering.
Okay. Like, Adam is
I'm going to come in every week and I'm going to have a different crime that I'm going to explain as to what it is.
So next week, tune in for the Black Dahlia.
I just meant like...
I thought you meant we were going to literal true...
No.
I thought you were like true crime.
I just meant like definitions of different crimes.
Oh, okay.
Tang Yi's ultimate goal is to whitewash his crime syndicate, but in doing that, he is also going after the big drug dealers in the city, which is what Miss Babette was worried about because he's playing in dangerous waters. What is happening is that the old guy is anticipating that it will soon be his turn. Since this was basically the end of the episode is what they're talking about.
Oh, the meeting,
yes,
the one that dies.
The old guy is anticipating it's going to be his turn since his group also deals with drugs and proposes to give Tang Yi the list of the guys in Shantian group who work with him in dealing drugs in exchange with Tang Yi leaving them alone. Tang Yi says fuck you, and that's when the scene ends. It's all in the past. It doesn't matter. I feel much better about episode 2.
I will say episode 2, even if I didn't know anything, which I didn't, leaving episode 1, episode 2 does a good job of explaining everything that I was like, oh, in a way that it's not explaining. Like, just through the storytelling, I was like, oh, now I understand Tang Yi's motivations a little bit better.
Yeah. It's hard when you're just getting, like, names... And I'm really just trying to excuse us for our shoddy recap.
And it's just so hard.
we continue down the path of this budding romance. Tang Yi is insistent that he did not do it. And Xiao Fei is also he's like, but it's so weird because it's out of character for him.
Yes.
I don't know why you would do it. He's out with like all his coworkers, all his detective buddies, and they're all drinking together because they're all stressed because they're gonna have to work a lot more since like Interpol is
trying to find Chen Wenhao, who we didn't explain Chen Wenhao at all at the end of episode 1, but
he barely comes up at the end of the episode. Chen
that's
Wenhao.
true. But Chen Wenhao is the big honcho, big Cambodian drug smuggler honcho
Yes.
that is allegedly coming back.
He's coming back to Taiwan.
And Tang Yi wants to take care of it.
Take care of the situation.
And obviously Babette is worried. Everyone's worried.
Everyone's worried about Wenhao.
Yes.
There is suddenly both
parties, both sides
are worried about this one person.
That is why Interpol is like, we're worried Wenhao is coming, so your unit, we're going to use you as recon.
Yeah. So Xiao Fei, because of this, believes that if he still just keeps watching Tang Yi, because he believes Tang Yi wants to take
Yes.
Wenhao out, then he'll lead him right to him. Right, two birds, one stone.
And also he's in love with him.
Yeah. Tang Yi is at tea. He's having a proper tea. That's coffee. That's espresso. Is that coffee or espresso?
It's decaffeinated.
He's having tea. He notices
people drink decaffeinated if they like the taste of coffee, but doesn't want to stay up all night.
Right. Xiao Fei comes in and interrupts the tea. They have another little quarrel. Xiao Fei is like,
well, first of all,
why'd you kill him? Because we know you did it, so why'd you do it? And he's like, I didn't do it. He tells him about the cufflink, blah, 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 blah.
He's like, the cufflink is a very popular item in our store.
I don't think he did it. No.
You don't think he told Jack to do it?
No, I don't think. I think they're setting it. No. Maybe. No, I don't. You're not reading your book today. Did you finish it? You finished your book?
No, I finished many times to that book. You're right. No, because I want to gatekeep it now because people are like, show us the book. Someone wants us to flip it page by page and put it in a video. No, Diva.
No. Because then we have to restrict the video.
NC-17.
NC-17.
It's a good book.
A review. Would you like to give a review of the book?
Quick book review?
Mm-hmm.
I get 2 thumbs in.
Oh my God. You're never seeing heaven. You're never seeing it. It's not happening for you, girl. Tea ends. He kind of like stiffs Xiao Fei with the bill. It's very funny.
$100 teas.
That's what's great about this show so far that I'm really liking is like there is a lot of seriousness to it, but there's also a ton of levity.
Yeah.
So you don't get bogged down in like, oh, it's a crime drama.
Yes.
Like it's treated with a light touch.
I know.
Even though there's gonna be violence in the episode, but like it still never feels like
they're like bantering. They're not like enemies. I mean, they are enemies, but they are playing off like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Like it's really funny and cute.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a BL.
Thank you. We flash back to a segment where he's cooking with his dad, who we then find out is his like kind of adopted father.
So this is when we find out, oh, that's Lao Tang. That's old Tang.
Yeah.
Who we think is I think we translated it as a grandfather, or he is the grandfather of the Famiglia.
Mm-hmm.
And then they allude in their conversation of like, well, don't you remember when I first found you? You were covered in dirt, blah, 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 blah. So that's when we're like, oh.
So he's not blood related, but he's been raised
by them.
In the family.
So Babisha makes sense now.
A little bit more sense.
Yeah.
She's not blood related.
Yes. Stay with me, girl. You know.
There you go. So that's a very nice scene.
Mm-hmm.
because
He
he's
is
young.
smiling the entire time.
He's so smiley.
It's like night and day that he's like two different people. When he was like being taken care of,
Yeah.
and like, oh, like what were we gonna cook now? It was so crazy to watch.
What's tough about this haircut, though, the real crazy undercut that he's got going on,
It doesn't look. You don't think
is
it
when
looks
it's
good?
down, it looks bad. Except, I mean, when he came out of the shower and it was like all pressed straight down, like that was fine. But like in the teenage years,
Where it's just like
flashbacks,
it's still the same cut, but like no, nothing's done to it. So
no,
it's, just
it's
like,
not done.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
just
looks
air
like
dried.
messy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably the most 2010s looking show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Everyone's side part started like at their
I
temple,
know.
and then it like swoops.
I really wanted to do an undercut back in the day. But
It is crazy how we were already starting to trend into like bringing the 90s aesthetics back. And then I just think because of COVID,
everyone
it just
was like,
happened
stop.
so quickly.
Yeah.
It was like everyone needed to be like, well, there was a definite break between pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yes.
So like we need to like everybody have to look visually different. It's so weird. So the question is, why did Tangye kill Kudenchen? And so the next day, whatever, they're at another eating establishment.
But it's a sting.
But it's a sting. The rest of the troop.
The most obvious sting. When they literally, Tangye comes in, and everyone that is in disguise is like,
Yeah. I would have also done that, but it would have been for a different reason.
this? What would have been?
No, I would have looked to him, but it would
Oh,
have been.
yes. Yeah. To ogle.
Yeah.
But then it's so weird because.
To undress with the mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then Xiaofei gets up though and is like, hey, Tangye.
Have a seat, my dude.
Crazy, you're here too. Do you have a minute to talk? And Tangye literally looks around, and it's the rest of the police
The
department.
rest of the entire police
looking
force
at him,
is
just like truly the most embarrassing sting.
It's so embarrassing. Ragtag bitch. So they argue, they walk out of the
Walk
restaurant.
out, and they are
They're
like
still arguing cat and mouse.
fight, but this is a little bit more physical now.
Yeah.
Because Xiaofei will not let it go. He's
Right.
like, no, I know you know something. Why did you do it? Why did you kill him?
Right.
I know.
What do you know?
Yeah.
He follows him out to his car. Tangye gets in his car. Xiaofei gets in the passenger seat of his car. And at this point, the doors are opened to the car. They are pulled out by new mob people,
Yeah.
whoever they are. Guys in full black suits.
Yeah.
With black shirts, black ties. The whole very classic.
And they start fighting them. But then there's this moment where in the car, they start fighting each other. And then
Yeah.
when they get yanked out, they start fighting together, back to back.
Because he takes his gun.
Yeah. So
they're working together. They get caught. They get abducted. They get taken in a van. They're in this van. Bobbity bobbity blah. Okay. Going up a mountain. We don't know how long. We don't know how far we are from civilization. I only point this out because I'm going to bring it up again later.
yeah.
They have handcuffed them together.
like this.
Like this.
But then this hand,
free as a bird.
Honey.
Why don't I open the door? Why don't I do anything with this hand?
at that point, yeah, it was
This
so
is bad mob work. This is rudimentary. What was their plan? Okay, they got lucky because he's a police officer, so
he had handcuffs.
What was their
so
plan?
they weren't even going to do it.
Otherwise.
No zip ties, no gaff
Right.
tape, nothing.
Rope. I mean, let's just go to the classics. Twine.
Do you have any twine?
So they're in the car. They silently communicate that they should use their free hands to fight.
Yeah.
A real brilliant move.
And they do. They kick
get
the
out.
guys.
They kick the guys. They get out. Da da da.
And they start
win.
running into the forest.
They run into the woods. Meanwhile,
No water, but the woods.
the woods.
Into the woods. Lila, into the woods.
Don't do that. So back at the police headquarters,
Back.
The team is getting scolded by
Because
the captain.
They lost Xiaofei.
Correct.
And they can't find him.
And then Xiaoji has a heart attack. He has like a heart palpitation. He has a heart murmur.
Like after being scolded, yeah.
Yeah, a heart murmur, a heart palpitation,
Anxiety.
an anxiety attack.
Yeah, something. I think it was just played for comedy.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Because
anything could happen on the show at this point.
there was also we were like, is this a plot point for the character? Is this a thing now that he has to like overcome?
Well, he says it's the first time
thing
it's ever
that
happened. And then he says, I wonder if something happened to, because he's known Xiaofei the longest. So he's like, I wonder if something happened to Xiaofei. And that was when maybe he knows he got cut, because during the fight he got cut.
If they add magic into this,
bitch I
I'm
would
sad.
gag. So he goes to Xiaofei's apartment. Here's the craziest part of this episode. An episode where Xiaofei gets knifed, he almost dies, and there's like they almost kiss or whatever.
Yeah.
The craziest thing that happens is Leon goes to Xiaofei's apartment to like knock on the door and be like, are you home? Obviously he's not home, you ding dong. He comes out and this camera is upside down.
The screen is flipped.
The screen is flipped. And RJ and I were like,
but the subtitles were correct.
Subtitles were correct, but the world was upside down.
So it's like, okay, this is.
And I was like, something happened. Did he get hit? Is he like whatever? He is walking down the street on his hands.
To be like, I'm looking at every nook and cranny to find him.
I could not explain why. I couldn't explain it if I tried. I don't know. I have literally no idea. I thought, I was like, was it like because he's quirky? Is it like, I mean, obviously it's for comedy, but like, what's the meaning behind it?
Yeah.
Is there like a old
Chinese, Taiwanese
Mandarin proverb that I don't know? Like, in your most distress, see the world through new eyes, walk upside down. Like something like in a fortune cookie we would tell you that.
I
was like,
Chinese proverb, yeah,
sure,
or something.
I have literally no idea. He is walking down the street
on his
hands,
legs in the air,
doing a really good job. It looked like he was actually doing it, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. And then Jack catches him and is like, I'm taking you with me. Because Jack is obviously missing Tangi. We'll come back to that. They've run away. They've run around the woods. They keep like evading.
Chased. Yeah.
They finally have this moment of really close skinship where there's a really tiny rock they have to hide behind. And Tangi like puts his entire body, presses against Xiaofei, and they like don't get caught or whatever. I don't know if so far yet I've been like, oh, there's like sexual chemistry, but I definitely want them to kiss.
I want them to kiss because the stakes are so high.
Yeah,
because
I think
the
that's part
action.
Of it. Yeah,
that I'm like, well, what other way to release the tension than by kissing?
That was not what you were going to say at first. That's not what you were going to say at first. That word was not going to start with a K. Tangi, like they're still bound by the handcuffs. Tangi. Again, like, what is going on? Tangi breaks his thumb,
slips out of the handcuff,
and then puts his thumb back in place. And I want to say to whoever did the Foley work for this, go to hell.
Because it's too good.
Because that was horrendous to listen to.
Imagine the eggs that this Foley artist had to step on.
Awful. Disgusting. So Jack questions Leon and is like, where is he? You don't know.
In like this, he's not like tied up, right? He is just in a closed living room.
Also, Tangi doesn't have a phone.
Yeah.
This I don't buy. But Tangi doesn't have a phone.
Well, he didn't bring with him. Yeah, he didn't.
I don't buy it. I'm sorry. He doesn't
You are
have
the
a phone.
CEO of a company that
You are in the mob. What are you talking about? Like, what? He doesn't have his phone. Xiao Fei's phone is dead. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jack is like, "We'll prove it. Call him." And he's like, "No."
give me his number.
Well, give me his number. And it's like, "No, I will never reveal a police officer's like identity. Even if you like strangle me, even if you choke me out, even if you like keep me in here and tie me up." Like, it was very
It suddenly became like it was like it's supposed to be a little more like childish.
Yes.
Because like Leon's kind of like the innocent one of
Yes.
all the everybody.
Yeah.
But there is like a level where it was like, are we about to be like, even if you like take me over your knee and spank me a little bit, I won't even do it. But you can try. I was like,
but it's
oh.
not gonna work.
Yeah, it was weird.
And Jack just leaves. He's
I
like,
kind of like the two of them.
I do too.
Listen, is Andy one of our finest living actors?
No, but he's a great writer.
But they finally find this spot in the woods where there's like an abandoned house, or
It looked like it was a warehouse that was about to be in construction, and then they stopped.
yeah. So they're hiding out here.
They're staying warm.
There is a big cut from the big
big.
scary knife on Xiao Fei's right arm, and Tang Yi
Isn't it crazy,
gives
like-
his-
Foley, you've already said, but like special effects makeup, they don't have to go as hard, but they love it.
They love it.
They love it. Because
love it.
remember Unintentional Love Story and his like shingles?
Yes.
Like, you don't have to show it.
Makeup artists. You're working.
Applaud your work. Amazing.
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
Sweetie, you're doing great. Maybe know the genre you're working in. Do you know what I mean?
Because it was grotesque.
It was giving Saw.
And it gets infected later. And
Yes.
there is a difference how it looks.
It's so gross. So Tang Yi gives his necktie. Mm-hmm. And
then
we
hands it.
get...
He just throws it.
First we get... Yeah, he hands it over.
And then Xiao Fei tries to do
I
it.
I can't do it. I'm struggling.
And Tang Yi's like, give it to me.
And we
And
get...
we get...
Can we?
Yes, finally. The tending of the wound.
We are finally back.
Finally. Some goddamn stations. Get these motherfucking stations in this motherfucking BL.
Yeah. The cut of the shirt was like lower than where they had wrapped
Yeah,
the
he
thing.
he like tightened it above it. So I'm like, is that supposed to stop the
I don't
bleeding?
know.
I don't know. I'm not I'm not a triage nurse.
I also don't know if like
But I thought you're supposed to
a
apply
satin
pressure
tie
on it.
from Zara is like what you're looking for to...
Yeah, you should have taken off a shirt.
Can we talk about the Zara of it all? There's a shot in the episode when they're behind a boulder. And Tang Yi like is looking around the corner and he's like bent over so
the jacket was open.
lining is like open.
And you saw the Zara.
And you can see the Zara tag.
I wouldn't care if it wasn't like, oh, I own a suit shop and this is quote unquote.
Yeah,
a
you
suit
were
that
the
I-
ones who made him own a suit shop. You did that. You did that. Just take out the Zara. Just take out the pet tag. Anyway, okay. I'm not gonna harp on
I
this.
used to be a Zara girly, and then I got big.
Oh.
It's just it is just for skinny girls,
Skinny girl margaritas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like you can't like grow muscle when you're wearing skinny Zara, because they don't have like stretchy fabric.
Is that something you're worried about?
It is like
Gaining
slim.
muscle?
Yeah, because I'm a jock.
Oh yes, because you have a new gym.
I'm such a jock.
Did you go today?
I did.
You went today and yesterday?
Yes, because I'm a jock.
Okay. Muscle
Okay,
fish.
Okay, boy.
Okay, dude.
Okay, dude.
Bro.
And everyone is gay in that gym.
Yes.
Every single
I won't say the name of the gym, but yes.
We're in Chicago and it's the gay gym. Not that one.
There's a different gay gym. Not that one.
Sorry, not that one. Not that one.
Then It's night falls. And they have made a little fire in this little house. And they're sitting next to it, keeping warm. Xiaofei gets... They're still, like, bickering. Xiaofei gets annoyed. He wants to make his own fire. So he asks Tang Yi for his lighter. Tang Yi is like, not the lighter!
Because Tang Yi is just, like, playing with it.
Right. It's like one of those, like, Zippo lighters. Or, like, a nice lighter, I should say. And so Xiaofei is like,
It's just a fucking lighter. Who the gives
Sir,
a fuck?
there's already a fire. You don't need a lighter. There's a fire. You just light from the fire.
Yeah.
But we had to get it so that we can flash back again.
To explain the lighter backstory.
To explain the lighter backstory, which is just that he got a lighter from Lao
Tang.
Lao Tang. Yeah.
Lao Tang. Basically is like, Lao Tang, this was allegedly the night before the 4 years ago incident.
Yes.
And it's like, hey, if something happens, you gotta take over the company and turn it clean. Make it clean.
And Tang Yi hates drugs. This is explained in that flashback. Yeah. He's like, I know you don't like drugs.
You square.
You fucking loser. Yeah.
Which makes me think, if he was out on the streets, maybe his family were like drug users that he had to like, or he was fostered or like ran away from home. Because I think running away was like they alluded to the fact.
Herring?
Yes. Well, they alluded to the fact that, because Xiaofei, when he was like mad about the fire or whatever, he was like, you blah, 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 blah. I bet you just miss your super pampered lifestyle or whatever. And Tang Yi was like, I had to run away. I had to like fend for myself or whatever.
He has a sob story.
Yeah. That's not really pampered or whatever.
It's weird because for someone who's been studying Tang Yi for 4 years,
you don't know that
it seems like Xiaofei doesn't know much about Tang Yi.
Yes, he doesn't
other
know
than his height, weight, and how to draw him for a photo.
But Lao Tang said he basically gives him the lighter as like a promise. Like, if you take this lighter, then you're gonna have to do that.
Yes. And then he also says, someday someone will make you feel what a normal life is.
Yes, to get away from all of this.
Yeah.
A cop.
A man.
A man, specifically.
He says gang life is an act of survival. He explains how he, like, the process of learning how to break his thumb, like he did earlier in the episode, so that because he's been caught many times and he's had to learn how to escape.
Hot.
Is that... No. I have a very low pain tolerance. Could you train your body to break your thumb often enough that you could then just, like, do it if you need to? Also, wouldn't your thumb not work anymore? Sorry. Are there any... what's a bone doctor called? Bone doctor.
Osteo.
Orthopedic doctor. If anybody's an orthopedic surgeon or doctor or is a nurse, a registered nurse, or even, a phlebotomist, I would be willing to hear what you think
Licensed nurse practitioner.
Yeah, occupational nurse.
Uh-huh.
Maybe even a veterinarian.
Maybe even a PT.
Sure, I'd take a PT. Anybody with some kind of degree in a science.
Can you pop out your thumb and pop it back in?
What would happen if you just kept doing it? Like, because he's saying, like, he did it
so many times that now he can do what he can do.
Right, but wouldn't... Something would happen. I feel like you can't do that. You can't do that.
Every episode, there's going to be something that are like, well, that's not possible.
And then people are going, and just like the elevators, and everyone was like, oh no, girl, that's real.
Diva, that's real.
Now that's what's going on in Asia. That's what's going on in Australia.
Yeah.
That's what's going on over there. That doesn't need to come to America, okay?
I
will gladly remain in the 20th century on elevators, okay? I'm fine with that. That literally gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking about it.
That you could be in an elevator and someone, oh, actually, I didn't mean to press that.
Oh. I hate it. So the next morning, his Xiaofei's cut has been infected. They need to get him to a doctor.
Caught a cold.
And they're still worried about being caught. How far are they from civilization?
Yeah.
Because they walk down this Taiwan is the size of Maryland. I looked this up. It's approximately the same square mileage as Maryland, which I'm not saying is like a small state, but it's not Arizona, right? It's not Alaska.
Yeah.
It's one of our smaller girlies on the East Coast. I feel like Taiwan is pretty well populated. I guess I could be making that up. There has to be a lot of people in Taiwan. 23 million people live in Taiwan as of 2020.
Maybe it's densely populated in like just the cities, but as soon as you're outside the city, it's like...
So there's nobody, bitch.
Yeah. Because I mean, like when we were driving in the Philippines, like we drove through mountains, like, and if we had stopped in one of those places, like, and we had to run up the mountain, would you be able to find a road?
I would trust you and your expertise in the area. Yeah.
I remember there were monkeys crossing the
Girl,
road.
there were
monkeys just being like...
And I understand for many of you who watch this channel, you're like, well, yeah, girl.
Well, yeah, girl.
Right over there. But for those of us who do not live in anywhere
grew up in Indiana
where there are monkeys.
Yeah.
I was very shocked to see that. They have to get him to a doctor. They're walking down the mountain. And this is the end of the episode. The end of the episode is they walk down the mountain. He trips and Tangi catches him. And they're very facially close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what do you think? What do you think so far?
I liked this one.
Yeah.
I liked this one.
I think because we were able to like not just barrel through plot.
Yeah.
Like explain.
Yeah.
We got to sink into the characters.
We put them in like kind of a situational thing. Got them out. Yeah, it was fun. It was good. Chris is so hot.
Yeah,
he's so attractive.
Like flashback Tangi. Revelatory and relevatory.
That didn't do it for me, but I'm glad it did it for you.
The cooking, the smiling, nothing?
Smiling for sure. Not the hair.
Who cares?
Me.
Well, you're vapid. And I'm a jock.
Okay, diva.
Who are your MVPs?
It's hard because there's no one really featured in this other than kind of the main two. I would say
Upside Down Diva.
I would say Tangi.
Yeah.
Because of the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smiling like threw me off. It was just so
very charming.
Right.
Well, and also like they do a very good job of like making him really cold in episode 1.
Yes.
So then it comes out of nowhere and you're like, oh, he used to be. I mean, it tells you two things. He can be this person, and two, he was this person. So then he's now very different because he's lost a lot. He doesn't have as much joy in his heart anymore. So maybe someone can crack him open.
Yeah, I'll say the same, Tangi. Although Upside Down Diva Leon was fun. Even though we didn't get a lot.
No, not a lot, but it packed a punch. Didn't it?
Even if you tie me up, I won't tell. So you should try. He just kept pouting and like...
Yeah.
It's very cute.
It was very you, actually.
I want Raising Cane's.
Thank you for watching.
Do you have somewhere to go?
I didn't... So I'm very busy. No, I was gonna... Should we do like proper closings?
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.
Should we do like proper outros?
Sure. You can find us on the Ampliverse like that. And if you guys don't forget, we do react to, we watch it and record it. It's called a reaction. We watch these episodes. If you want, you can follow along on the Patreon.
You can watch along with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.